I'm Amelia. Amelia Dearborn.
Scream into the night about the monster!
So what you're telling me is that there really was a Victor Frankenstein who created a man out of parts of humans? I want to show you how different the world is now. Well, here we are. Home sweet home.
I was hoping that you would be able to join us.
Thank you for inviting me, Dr. Frankens.
I had to have someone here that was at least a pleasure to talk to. I know exactly who you are.
Amelia, he knows what I am.
I want to study his brain outside the body.
I'm sorry, Dr. Frankens. I can't be a part of such madness.
Oh, I really wish you had not said that. He's been killed, and I know who did it.
Police are on the way. They should be there within 5 minutes. Did you actually see the person who did this?
It was Amelia Dearborn's cousin, Adam Smith.
Hey guys, this is Crimson.
And this is Swan. And we'd love to know what you think of the stories.
Even if it's bad.
So leave us a comment.
Or give us a thumbs up.
Thank you.
It lies in wait amidst your dreams, where nothing is ever how it seems. It is a portal to a terrifying world beyond the doorway to nightmare. Come in. Welcome. I'm your host, Artemis Black. Amelia Dearborn, an attorney, was lost in the woods only to be saved by the monster created by Victor Frankenstein over 200 years ago. While trying to introduce him into society, he meets with Dr. Frankens, a direct descendant of the infamous scientist. Dr. Frankens' assistant, Elliot, is found dead, and the monster is accused of the murder.
Adam, I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault, Amelia. I told you before. I do not fit in your so-called society.
I spoke with the detective. The evidence that they have is, well, flimsy at best.
I swear, Amelia, I did not kill anyone.
This I know, and I believe you. Try not to worry. I've got your back. I will be representing you in court, but first, we have to try and get you a bond hearing as soon as possible.
Perhaps it is best if I simply stay in this cage.
Don't say that! And whatever you do, do not talk to anyone. Ever. No matter what they ask of you.
I understand, Amelia. As long as you believe me.
I do. I honestly do. There's something about this whole thing that just doesn't add up.
Amelia, I can only tell you what we found. And believe me, there are more questions than answers at the moment.
Jessica, we've known each other a long time. I considered you a friend.
And I sincerely hope that we can remain friends. Even after this case is over.
Why did you arrest Adam?
Oh, I'm going to level with you, Amelia. This whole case, it just doesn't sit well with me.
You have doubts?
I have major doubts. Unfortunately, Dr. Frankens has a lot of friends within the courts. I was practically forced to arrest Adam.
How is Dr. Frankens involved? I thought it was his assistant that was killed.
Didn't you know? Dr. Frankens found the body. He also claims he saw your client running from the house.
Ah, so he was the first one to find the body. Adam was basically in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Something else that is very strange. We can find no record on an Adam Smith in any database.
That's because he's never been in trouble, ever.
That may be. But right now, he is in a lot of trouble.
How was the victim murdered?
A .22 caliber bullet was pulled from the man's brain. He was shot with a Derringer.
That's a rather small gun, wouldn't you say?
It did the job. The DA is pushing for no bond as well. Adam picked a great night to do it.
Why do you say that?
The entire area lost power. No lights of any kind. Darkness was definitely on his side.
Amelia, what brings you to my humble abode?
May I come in?
Of course.
Dr. Frankens, as you know, I'm representing Adam in the upcoming trial.
Yes. I deeply regret that you are having to face this horrible incident. Adam seemed to be, well, so refined and intelligent.
I understand that you offered him an opportunity. You wanted to study him.
Oh, that. Yes, Amelia. It is true. I noticed the scars on his face. I told him that as a surgeon, I could possibly erase those scars. But I would need samples of his blood type, skin, and so on.
And so on. You mean his brain?
I beg your pardon?
I heard that you wanted to do an MRI on his brain.
Oh, yes. Well, I noticed what a large gentleman he was. There have been scientific studies on tall individuals such as Adam. I'm actually following along those lines.
I see. What can you tell me about the night that Elliot was killed?
Oh, it was horrible. I remember the power going out. Elliot was still in the lab downstairs. I heard the gunshot, ran to the lab, and saw the body slumped over the desk. I still remember seeing the blood on his face.
But how do you know it was Adam that pulled the trigger?
Well, I didn't actually see Adam do it. However, when I ran upstairs to phone the police, I did see your client running from the house.
Justice is a temporary thing that must at last come to an end. But the conscience is eternal and will never die, said Martin Luther. Ah, justice, something that is rarely seen, but held on to so fervently. I'll return shortly with Act 2. It has now been 3 months since Adam was arrested for the murder of Elliot. The day of the trial is at hand, and Amelia Dearborn is ready.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Samuel Ridgefield presiding.
You may be seated. Now then, is everyone ready? Good. Let the games begin.
How are you holding up, Adam?
It's not going very well, is it?
Now don't get discouraged. The prosecution doesn't have much of a case. Our turn will come after the recess.
I tried to warn you, Amelia. The world does not change. People do not change. In their eyes, I'm still the bloodthirsty creature from their nightmares.
Now just stop that. I told you there was something very wrong about this entire case. I just need to find it.
Perhaps it would be better if I was simply locked away.
I won't have you talking that way. Let me do my job, Adam.
I'm sorry. I trust you. It's the others I don't have faith in. You don't know what it is like being hunted, caged, feared.
No, I don't. And for that, I am sorry. Tell me the truth. What were you doing at Franken's house?
I decided not to help him with his so-called experiments. His eyes. Unnatural. Almost as if he were like me. They held deep within them the madness of Frankenstein.
Ugh. Unnerving. I'm hoping to get some information soon that just may prove your claim.
All right, Miss Dearborn, is the defense ready?
We are, Your Honor.
Then call your first witness.
Your Honor, I would like to recall to the stand the prosecution's witness, Dr. Frankens.
A little unusual, but I will allow it. Dr. Frankens, you understand that you are still under oath.
Yes, Your Honor.
Dr. Frankens, you are considered somewhat of a celebrity in this town, aren't you?
Celebrity? No. Just a surgeon and a research scientist.
I understand that you have contracts with our military. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So you see, I am not allowed to discuss my research.
I would not dream of asking you about it. What I would like to know, Dr. Frankens, is how you managed to see my client running from your house on the night in question.
As I stated before, I looked out the window while I was phoning the police.
How far away would you estimate you were from where you saw my client?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps a few dozen yards.
You have better eyes than I do. I ask you, could you see him clearly?
If you mean, did I see his face? No, I can't say that.
Then how, Mr. Frankens, do you know that it was him?
How many 8-foot-tall men are in this town?
Yes, I see your point. So you do recognize that my client is rather large.
One of the largest men that I have ever come into contact with.
Could you indulge me and describe my client?
Well, he's at least 8 foot tall. Long black hair, a few scars on his face, possibly from an accident.
What about his hands?
Oh, extremely large.
Would you say twice the size of a normal hand?
Almost 3 times as large.
I see. Yes, a very apt description. Now then, this is State's Exhibit A, the gun that was found near the body. Would you agree?
Yes, it does look like it.
A rather small handgun, a .22 caliber Derringer. I would like to present this up close to the jury. You see? It almost fits in the palm of my hand.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Miss Dearborn, where exactly is this line of questioning going?
I ask that the court indulge me for just a few minutes, please. It goes towards the facts of my case.
If the prosecution has no objection, I'll give you a few, but get to the point.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now then, Dr. Frankens, your hands. Would you say you have rather lithe hands? I mean, special, optimal for surgery.
I suppose it is what makes me a great surgeon.
I see. And yes, you are a brilliant surgeon. But now I ask you, As a doctor, how would my client pull the trigger of this rather tiny gun?
I don't understand the question.
It's a rather easy one to answer. If the court will allow... Here, Adam. Could you hold the gun? Don't worry, it's not loaded. Now, try to pull the trigger.
I can't.
And why is that?
I can't even fit my finger into it.
You see? It would be impossible for my client to pull the trigger of such a tiny gun as this. One other thing, Dr. Frankens. You testified that you found your assistant slumped over the desk in the lab.
Yes, that is correct.
You also told me, as well as the detective, you could see the blood on his face.
Oh, it was a most horrible sight.
Could you describe the room where you found him?
It was in the lab, in the basement part of my home.
Only one door?
Yes, only one door.
Any windows to the outside?
No, it is quite private for the work that we do.
Is it a rather large area?
It runs almost the length of the house. We need the room for the experiments that we conduct.
I see. And the desk that your assistant was slumped over was at the far end?
I believe so, yes.
And yet you opened the door, saw the body, saw the blood, and went upstairs and phoned the police.
That is what I said, isn't it?
How were you able to see the blood? I mean, you testified that you didn't actually go into the lab, just stood at the door.
I don't understand the question.
Remember, Dr. Frankens, you testified that there was a power outage in your part of the city. You didn't say you had a flashlight of any kind. I can buy that you saw my client running from the house, but as there was only one door, you should have seen him coming from the lab, but you didn't. There is no way that you could have seen blood on the face of the victim in complete darkness.
Very clever, Amelia. Very, very clever.
Order in this court.
Shut up, all of you. Come one step closer and I will break her neck.
You are a Frankenstein!
Yes, my great-grandfather created that thing, and now I shall carry on his work.
Let Amelia go, Dr. Frankenstein.
And what will you do? You are nothing more than a scientific experiment gone wrong!
Mary Shelley wrote in her novel, "I do know that for the sympathy of one living being, I would make peace with all. I have love in me the likes of which you can scarcely imagine, and rage the likes of which you would not believe. If I cannot satisfy the one, I will indulge the other." I'll be back shortly with Act 3. The courtroom is deathly silent as everyone watches Dr. Frankens, his arm around the throat of Amelia Dearborn. Adam, with a stern look in his eye, begins to walk towards him.
Stay back, Adam. I swear, I will break her neck.
I said to let her go, Dr. Frankenstein.
Please, Dr. Frankens, you don't know what he's capable of.
Oh, shut up! Don't come any closer, you pathetic creature. Let go of my arm.
Amelia, get out of the way. Now.
Your hand around my throat. Get off me.
It would be so easy So easy for me to squeeze, crush your throat, and watch you die.
Please, Adam, don't do it.
Yes, so easy, Dr. Frankenstein. But I believe that you are facing a much worse fate.
And here's to you, Adam. You have shown that you are more human than most of us.
All of the charges were dropped?
Yes, with prejudice.
What does that mean?
It means that you are completely free. They can never, ever touch you again.
Thank you, Amelia. Thank you for showing me that there are good people in the world.
You are most welcome. But wait, where are you going?
I can't stay, Amelia. I think that we both know it.
But I just thought... Oh, Adam!
As I told you before, the world, the people, do not change. There's no place for me in society.
Where will you go? Back to your cave?
It is no longer safe.
But how will I visit you?
Amelia, you will never see me again. Oh, perhaps one day.
No, it's not fair. You are free. You're more of a man than anyone I've ever met.
I'm so sorry, but I have to go.
Would you mind? I mean, would you let me give you a kiss goodbye?
Is it something that you feel terribly strong about?
Yes, it is.
It has been an honor and a privilege to have met you, Amelia Dearborn. Don't ever change what and who you are.
Amelia watches from the window as her friend walks towards the street before disappearing into the darkness. A tear rolls down her cheek. I'll be back shortly with a final word. Mary Shelley wrote, "Such a man has a double existence. He may suffer misery and be overwhelmed by disappointments. Yet when he has retired into himself, he will be like a celestial spirit that has a halo around him, within whose circle no grief or folly ventures." Our cast included Mick Davis, Crimson McKenzie, Jonathan Rossignol, and Jemma Mitchell. The story was edited by Crimson McKenzie and directed by Winslow Swan.
And now, a preview of our next tale.
I still say it's wrong, and that is the end of it.
But have you ever thought about it? Just once?
Never, Roger. And why are you even thinking about it?
Overdue. 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 Oh, here's one. Final notice.
I get it. Okay. We have a little debt to worry about.
A little debt? That's like saying the Hoover Dam holds back a little water.
I still say that it's wrong.
Is that the only reason? Or are you afraid?
This is Artemis Black, inviting you to return with us to the doorway to Nightmare for another adventure into the world of your terrifying imagination. Until next time, slumber peacefully.
Epilogue. The butler did it.